What's
Hi,
good?
everybody.
Hello. What's going on, everyone? Oh man, I'm so excited for this. Welcome to the Winner's Seat podcast.
The
man.
Winner Seat Podcast.
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
here. We are finally here.
Finally, I'm so glad that I'm here with you.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm here with you. You made it here from Boston.
I absolutely did.
Oh my God. And we're
It
here in
was-
Hollywood
Yeah,
in an amazing studio.
yeah. It was serious for me, honestly, to be quite honest with you, because I feel like obviously.
Oh, wait, I got to give a disclaimer. Hold on a second before you get going.
Yes.
So here's what happened. He fussed at me. Okay. So I'm starting law school. And he sent me a message. He was feisty. And he said, yo, I'm flying out there. I'm taking this podcast serious.
Yeah.
You're not about to get law schooled up and be freaking forgetting about our podcast and our goals and our freaking task. And I said, listen, I'm never going to forget what we're doing. I'm never going to put us second. Law school is going to be in the night. We're going to knock this shit out. I'm not going to ever put the time and energy that we're doing this, I'm not going to take it for granted because it's special.
Yeah,
special.
and I appreciate you for it because I'm fully committed to this podcast because I do feel like for example, we just had a crazy conversation earlier. It was so good that she had to just start recording.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that I feel like we're gonna touch on, and so many topics on just relationships and friendships and business and entrepreneurship and spirituality and mental health and so many topics is going on.
Well, we got to tell the people who we are.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like this very, very important for us to do this podcast because of that. But, for anybody that doesn't know, right, we'll tell you guys a little bit about us so that way you guys know who we are. My name is Maze. Real name is Ramses Guzman, right? I'll give you guys my full government. I don't want to say that I'm just like a Forex trader, right? Because that's where my origin is from, right? It's where that's kind of like what gave me the eyes to be able to be an entrepreneur, because that's what I am, an entrepreneur, just as you are.
Right.
Handling a couple of businesses right now, actually about to launch a business with my bro over here as well. So, I'm a day trader. I trade the Forex markets. I've been trading Forex markets for 6 years. Now, I do understand there's a lot of scammers in this industry. Yeah. Right. So I do understand.
I've been scammed.
Yeah. We've had that conversation. So, I definitely understand, but you guys also got to understand that this is
it's real.
It's real. It's a $7 trillion a day industry. So no matter what, it's a real industry. I've made a very good amount of money trading. I have about 700 plus students that I have mentored. I own the Bank Zone Trading Club with my brother Slick. Shout out to Slick.
Slick.
He's my business partner. And it's just been a great journey, just kind of teaching people. Actually, Jamie's right here with us. He's one of my mentees in which I taught how to trade Forex. So within that, just doing Forex and day trading, and was able to actually kind of open my mind to network and build relationship with different people, right? Because there's a lot of people that want to learn that come from other fields, right? Airbnbs and Turos and all these other things. So it's been able to be an exchange of value, which is great, which is what we're going to do as well with you, because,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's been a beautiful journey. Just, the Bank Zone has about 2 years open. Opened April 1st, 2021. Has been amazing.
Yeah.
Very lucrative, beautiful business.
It's because you're amazing. Well, you're down to earth. Your people can relate to you.
Thank you. I try. That's my thing. My thing is, how can we stay genuine and authentic throughout our whole journey? And yeah, it might take us a little longer because we're not scamming and we're not doing anything and we're not doing anything wrong or anything like that. But I'd rather just, for my sense is just, my conscience, I'd rather just do everything right and just be very genuine and authentic with everyone.
Absolutely.
Right? No matter what. So, this is who I am. I'm probably the nicest, rudest, most caring, most I don't give a fuck person that you will ever meet.
But so caring. And he is rude a bit. If you look at his threads, he talks his shit, but he's so caring. And it's like, honestly, if I had to say this, and he's probably not going to like me for saying this, but I think he's just a mask. I think he's just a big teddy bear behind it all, because he's so loving and caring, honestly.
I'm happy that you brought that up because I would say that it is a mask. I would say it's a side of me.
Yeah, that's fair.
That I use as a
Defense mechanism?
Defense mechanism for people to not automatically penetrate who I really am, because I don't feel like everyone deserves the real you. Because when people get the real you, then they can just take advantage and do things like that we were talking earlier. So I don't feel like everyone deserves that version of you. I feel like everyone can get a certain version of you.
Right.
So I'm all cool with the judgments. I don't, I'm very, very, very sure of myself, and I'm very, very comfortable in my own skin. So I don't take anything personal.
Right.
When I see comments and online or Instagram or people saying anything about me or whatever the case may be, for the most part, people say some good things. But when it comes to just hearing other people say negative things about me, or based on my posts or my memes or my captions, right? Because everybody's like, you're famous for your captions when you post a picture, and it's like, you're getting a version of me. Right. And if you want to judge me off of whatever it is that you see online, then just remember that it's not the real me online. That's just part of my personality online. You know, don't use judgment. Use proper discernment.
Right.
And then that's what we're here for. So that way you guys can get to know us a little bit more.
Right.
Understand us, understand where we come from, and understand that in these two heads right here, there's a lot of gold and a lot of diamond.
Absolutely.
Ready to give it. But who are you? Please, can you let them know? Please, yes. She's a mogul. That's what she is. I will say that.
I've as I reflect on my life,
yes,
I think the best way to describe me is just a true go-getter. There's really nothing that I feel like I can't do. I don't like to start things and not finish them.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
I'm a true go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like to start things and not finish them,
yes,
no matter
say
what.
That.
And even if something comes to an end, it needs to end the right way, right? Mm-hmm. And so, which is hence why I'm back in law school now, because that's what I went to college for. And
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
I just want to say, and again, she started by saying that I got at her.
He bit my hand.
It was more so because we are intertwined already. This is my sis right here. And I'm just saying, I'm so happy for you, because I know that was something that you have been, that's kind of like your start, right? Your foundation, because that's, and you're gonna be even more powerful than you already are.
And that's the whole reason.
And it's a beautiful thing. But I thought that you were gonna go to school. I didn't know it was online, so and I'll
have to pop up on campus sometime.
Yeah, that's okay. But when you think about law school,
it's intense.
Crazy.
It's intense.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of
you.
You.
You
I'm
gotta have
a
lot of support, because if you don't have support, especially if you have a child. Speaking of children, our children are executive producers of this podcast. Anoki Wynn Burton and your son,
Renell Guzman. Thank you so much.
They are the executive producers.
Yes.
And so, when you have children, I never want my daughter to look back and be like, wow, Mom, you did so much.
How old is your daughter?
She's 2.
Okay. I got a 16-year-old.
Yeah, 16-year-old, 2-year-old, right?
Yeah. Beautiful thing.
I don't want my daughter to be like, Mom, you've done all these things. But what did you go to college for? Did you go to college for business? It's like, no, I went to college for law. Oh, did you ever, become a lawyer? And it's like that. My mom wanted to be a lawyer. I went to school for it, and I just, then I moved to LA. I ended up getting a TV show picked up when I was supposed to be starting law school. And I just ran with that, So not to get off topic, but I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a person who sees things through a different pair of lenses. I believe that anything is possible. Yeah. I don't set any limitations on myself. I've made a lot of money. I've lost money. I've rebuilt. I've had partnerships, friendships. People steal from me. People lie to me. And I just still wake up every day and keep going. The most important thing to me is loyalty. The most important thing to me is thinking that you can do it and being around like-minded people who make you feel like you can. If you're around a bunch of people who are like, oh, man, why are you going to do that? Or you got too much going on. Or, if you're around that type of energy, you can't do nothing. I've owned restaurants. At one point, I had 6 restaurants. That business was crazy. I owned a very successful skincare brand that I put on hold to run these businesses in the restaurant space. Yep. I own a tech company, AI book publisher. We create books for people.
Which is killing right now.
It's killing it. It's doing so well. Obviously, artificial intelligence is a huge space that everybody's gravitating towards. Yeah.
It's future.
And so, when you really think about, like, the landscape of opportunity, it's like we got 24 hours in a day. what am I spending my days doing, right? So now I'm at this place where I'm all about optimizing my time, right? My time, what am I doing with between this time and that time? What did I do to make money? It's really, and by the way, Facebook changed when they did that, iOS update. They messed things up tremendously.
Bro, listen.
With ads and
Don't
all
get
that.
me started on that,
Man.
because shout out to Apple because we going to get that sponsorship too, so we're going to go crazy. But but yeah, that thing kind of messed a lot of things up, especially more so on the ads perspective.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of like what
Big
messed
time.
it up. Yeah.
Because before you could see lookalike audiences and it would be like, okay, if this person went to your site, you can trace them. And man, the skincare line used to go crazy. I mean, I didn't even try. And I never thought that it would slow up.
Yeah.
And so everything in life is about lessons. And in this podcast, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, what has worked, what hasn't worked. We're going to talk about love, relationships. We're going to talk about friendships. We're going to talk about trading.
Yep.
What's interesting, he didn't mention this, and he's going to kick my butt when I say this, but he is like a psychologist, and he's not a licensed psychologist, so I want to just put that out there. But he's really, really knowledgeable on mental health, and he has helped me tremendously in a lot of different ways, just understanding the male perspective. And
thank you.
The reason why this podcast was so important is because when you look at Black and Latin, households and men and women, we're broken. There's some damage here, Women are not knowing how to be feminine and still be bosses. Men are not knowing how to accept women in certain ways. And it's a lot of ego and it's a lot of trauma, right? And I think we both have experienced a lot of trauma over our lives.
Yeah.
And we've gone through the process of healing. And I can be the first to say I'm still healing on a continued basis because it's not an overnight process, right? But I know one thing's for sure. I always want to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And for me to get there, I have to continue to think, what can I do better? How can I be better? What can I say better? How can I feel better about myself, the way I look at myself, Yeah.
And I mean, it always starts with yourself.
Yeah. And you can't look at yourself from like just a physical, okay, I look good today. I'm popping.
No.
It's the spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's
that
the
ain't
soul.
shit. That's what I'm saying.
Man.
This is
it's
nothing.
The full package.
This is nothing but a vessel.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Because we're here, then we die, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
That's all it is.
We don't know how much time we got left here.
And that we are born.
Yep.
And we die.
And what we do in between.
And in between is where life is. And so I feel like it really just it starts with us.
Yeah.
With you first. Putting yourself first.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what. That it's okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
I think that people put a certain and thank you, by the way, like, for saying those great things about me. Honestly, I'm a product of experience. And I don't take experience lightly, whether it's good or bad. I feel like there's always something that you can learn from any experience. And a lot of people aren't healed. A lot of people are just ignorant.
Right.
A lot of people are not healed. A lot of people are just, I said that today, are just isolated and really just have no one around them to trigger them. But
or just jumping around, right?
Yeah.
Because what does it really mean to be healed, right? Like, let's talk about it for a second. Although I was telling you guys a little bit about me, obviously, one thing I forgot to mention is I have traded and I've lost in trading. And I've lost big, right?
That's going to change. He's with me now. So.
Yeah, now that I'm with him, the Forex market is a market that does make money, for sure. But I was entrusting other people and not taking the time to learn.
There's so many scammers.
I want to just say this, no matter what, you have to learn how to trade. It is a skill set that you can keep in your back pocket for a rainy day. And so, as you watch our podcast and you see how we, talk about business and we talk about trading, I'm a vessel. I'm consistently learning. I'm learning from him on the Forex side. And I have a gentleman who's teaching me on the stock option side. And, I've been in the stock market since probably 2016. And now, and I can say comfortably in 2023, I've never been more excited to make sure that I actually understand and learn how to day trade. Because it's one thing to buy and hold, right? Yeah. It's another thing to say, you know what?
Day trading.
I become my own ATM. Yeah. I could print my own money. And so we're going to talk about that with the automation, an automation system that actually works, that's tested and true. Yeah. How many days have you took a loss? Let's just be honest.
I will be honest. I hate saying this because it sounds crazy,
I know.
I have not had a losing day this year.
Right.
I had one instance where it was just a bad experience as far as like drawdown and things like that, and we'll get to drawdown and what that is, in future episodes, and we'll be bringing you guys plays, and just keep in mind, we will say this disclaimer, I am not a licensed
financial
advisor. At the end of the day, I'm just giving you, my opinions on what the market is and what the market is doing and what I'm going to be doing. And then, you guys can follow up if you'd like. That's it.
For sure. Okay, so let's talk about this really quick. When it comes to like the Jewish community, white community, Asian community, they've been trading for years. Yeah. Why is it that the Spanish and Black community are just now finding out since, I would say probably since COVID, really?
Ignorance.
Like, why aren't we educated? Why aren't we given these tools, right?
Ignorance.
Right out of high school, right? Shouldn't we know out
of
high school?
That's the school system is crazy because the school system is not, it's actually creating employees instead of creating entrepreneurs because even if you see the seating of how, school is, it looks like a factory seating, right? And it's just like they put you in this mindset of already being an employee and they're not teaching. And shout out to Florida because Florida is the first state that actually started teaching financial literacy to to students. And
also no shout out to Florida because they also took away the Black history. So you know what? It's double
exactly.
Double
so it's
entendre.
Like Florida always does something right, but they always always fuck it up somehow, right?
Right.
But I feel like it's important to have these kids learn about financial literacy and what it is and how to manage.
Let me ask you this question: how crazy would it be if when you were 14 you learned how to trade? Like, imagine in high school if they had a class.
Millionaire right now, 100% millionaire right now.
Multi-millionaire, right? Because it's like, who's responsible for not giving this information? Like, it's really crazy when you can just have this skill set, learn it, and other communities are knowing about it.
Well, is it beneficial overall for America as a whole to have,
of course,
everyone be financially literate?
They want the Spanish to be now. I don't want us to get like into too much trouble if I go down this lane, but they want the Spanish to be, especially like Mexicans, right? They want them to be the workers, and they want the Black people to be the dummies.
I'm sorry, fuck that, fuck trouble. We say
they want the Black people to be, selling the crack, doing all that, and then getting arrested, the gangs, and just going to prison.
It's all a system.
It's like it's a continued cycle, and they want the Mexicans to just, freaking. I can only speak for California. I don't know how it is on the East Coast, but the Mexicans, they want them to just be the, the janitors, and the freaking.
But I'll
McDonald's workers,
But I'll ask you this: do you blame the elites or the higher ups, whatever we call them, or for not putting that information out there, or do you blame people's ignorance? Because in reality, I come from an ignorant place. Like, I'm from New York City, right? I just recently moved to Boston in January. I was raised in New York City. I was born in DR, by the way, right? I came here when I was like 7 years old, something like that.
¿Hablas español, verdad?
Sí, claro, hablo español también.
Okay,
sí,
perfecto.
English is better though. But and I just honestly, I come from an ignorant place, from a place where I had to get out of the box so that I can learn this. I was working in NYU and right next to the Bull and right next to the Treasury and right next to the floor, the Wall Street floor, and it's like one Wall Street, right? And the financial district and all that. So it's like that opened my eyes to Forex and just the market itself, because it's not even about trading Forex. It's about how can I break down a chart technically, fundamentally, and psychologically where I know most likely where, with a proven strategy of where this market might go.
Right.
Might go, because nobody's 100% accurate, right? Never, right? So it's like I had to break out the box. So, and I got curious because my curiosity is like, this is the reason why we're where we at today, right? And I tell Tasha every single day, I'm like, I look up to you. I'm inspired by you. I'm motivated by you because you're a boss woman and you've done some amazing things and you're going to continue to do some amazing things. We're going to do amazing things together. Yeah. This is one of them. And, and it's like really here, that desire of wanting more.
But you know what it's tied to? It's the energy, right? Every day we exchange energy, and it's powerful.
Yeah.
There was a day, And this is why I want to make sure everybody who's watching this, make sure you have somebody who can fill your battery back up, right? There's days where I may wake up and I might be like, damn, this is a rough day. Yeah. I'm down. My energy's low.
I'm charged up every day.
And I'll get a freaking message, a voice note from him, you know, because he sends them every morning. And then I started realizing, let me send him some high energy ones, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, when you have that energy and it's like, let's make it a fucking great day.
Yeah.
Like, guess what? You want to make it a fucking great day.
Yeah.
Because like that energy exchange. Now, if it's like, oh, it's an okay day.
That's how it's gonna be. And I feel like it all, again, it starts with you, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't like this, but fake it till you make it is so real because your brain is so powerful that you tell it something enough times and it's going to believe it, even if it's a lie.
Right.
Right. So my thing is, if I wake up and I was able to open my eyes today, then why am I in a bad mood in any kind of way? I understand there's certain days that we might have lower energy than others, and that's okay, right? Because you might be drained from the day before, or you might have mentally drained is actually the craziest thing because you'll be more drained than actually physically drained, right?
Right.
But every morning, I have an opportunity to live life. So it is my duty to be able to be grateful.
Yep.
And thank God every single day that I'm here, right? And just that alone gives me energy to keep going, right? Now there's some days, the thing is that I'm usually at 150%.
Right.
And then my low battery days are like 100%. So
yeah, I haven't seen you not one day.
You might not feel that, but I have those days too because I'm human as well.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm so used to charging my own self up, motivating my own self, inspiring my own self, and people be like, oh, who the people that inspire and motivate others, who's inspiring and motivating you?
Right.
Myself.
Yeah.
Myself, because I just can't fail.
Right. And that's why I made a conscious effort to make sure that I'm also pouring into you with like high energy.
I appreciate that. You absolutely
There was one day that I was low and he poured into me like crazy, right?
Yeah, she's rarely low battery, by the way.
Rarely low, but it happens, right? Because there's a lot of moving pieces in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And that day,
with a lot.
You poured into me so crazy that I kicked off the Do Something Kind challenge, right? And I drove to Starbucks. Anybody watching this, just do this one day.
Oh,
right?
that was pretty cool.
It makes you feel good, I promise you.
That was pretty cool.
You go through the drive-thru at Starbucks. I don't even really drink coffee, but I started, right? Just a little bit, because too much would have me bouncing up the wall. So I've been drinking coffee now for about a month and a half. So I'm a new coffee drinker.
I'm sorry. I think I messed you up. I think I messed up, Jamie.
Man.
Oh, shit.
So let me tell you guys about this challenge. So after he like poured into me crazy energy, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something really nice for somebody, a stranger, because why not? And I used to do this years ago. You get in Starbucks line, you go, you order your coffee, you get to the counter, hey, I'm going to pay for mine. They ring you up and you say, I'm also going to pay for the person behind me.
Yeah.
And I said, really? Wow. Yeah, I am. The person doesn't know you. They have no idea. One time the person ordered a whole bunch of stuff, so she got real lucky. But this doesn't matter, right? The whole point is you did something kind. So then you drive off and then you see their reaction. It's just like, really? But why? You know, that's like always like the feeling, you know? And then that makes you feel complete. Like for the day, it's like, oh, I did a good deed for somebody. Yeah. They could have been having a rough day.
Yeah.
That little coffee could have just made them feel like, wow, you know what? The world is so crazy. Everybody's so mean, but not everybody.
That's pretty cool.
Not everybody is so fucked up.
I love that. I love that. And you just like leave and the person's like, holy, like the feeling that you're giving that person for the day, it's like you're almost like if that person was having a bad day or just low battery, or you're actually turning them up because now now they have this belief of like, wow, like, you know, this is like, I feel so good and grateful about this. Yeah. And that feeling alone spills out to everything else throughout the day.
You can just make them feel good even for that second.
Because that second goes a long way.
Think about crazy. What are we dealing with right now? We're dealing with divorces. We're dealing with school shootings, inflation, freaking unemployment. I mean,
everything.
Trump just got arrested. I mean, it's a lot going on, right?
I mean, I think we're in LA and freaking LA had a hurricane
and an earthquake. And I'm like,
what's happening?
Yo, I got flashlights. I had got canned chicken, which, by the way, shout out to Costco. Their canned chicken. I was like, wait a minute. This is flavorful. Wait a sec. What a goddamn, what the hell is this? Fake chicken? It was so good.
I'm not gonna lie though. You was ready.
I was ready. Because I didn't know. I'm like, listen, I moved the G-Wagon like to another area. I'm like, wait a minute. We're not about to just
no, not the G-Wagon.
Here's why. Because when it hit in Houston, and when you think about like Hurricane Katrina, those people didn't know what was going to happen. They weren't, you know, because it was just like, you hear it, and it's like, wait a minute. Oh, it's real. So you wasn't gonna catch me swimming with no freaking alligators and snakes, and
No,
you wasn't gonna catch me like that. No, sir, I was
you're
ready.
not catching me.
We sealed up the doors. We taped the door. We went crazy. we went crazy. Because it's like, what you don't know. The climate is changing. It's so hot. It's been like 105 degrees in LA. It's hot everywhere. You don't know what's going on in the world.
It's a different time. I mean, we're living a crazy time right now, and there's so much like toxicity out here as well as far as like personally. And
oh yeah.
And I actually want to. We never even got to that. What does healed truly mean?
What does
Actually,
healed
I'm glad
look
that
like?
we brought that back up.
Healed to me,
Yeah.
number one, is taking responsibilities for your shortcomings. I think that's the first step of healing, is understanding your areas of improvement as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I think taking accountability, because a lot of times we get caught up in the blame game, right? Our healing starts with us, right? And this one is big. You got to kill that ego. That damn ego will crush you. That ego will have you so high in the sky, so prideful, you won't even have a moment to see yourself outside of yourself,
Well, here's the thing. Ego is not even you.
Right.
That's the crazy shit. It's not even you. It's something that was built by you in your mind based on the experiences and traumas that you've
A defense
had.
mechanism,
It's just
essentially,
a
right?
defense mechanism,
Right.
exactly what it is, right? And so I do believe that fully healed is that I don't feel like you ever get fully healed. I feel like it's a journey, it's a work in progress. And some people might feel like us, or like we might feel fully healed, right? Like when you talk to me, like, damn, you're giving me these perspectives, men perspectives. And and yes, my guys, I am giving her the cheat code. I am giving her all the gems on how men think and all that. Because why not?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This, my sister, is a very, very good friend of mine. Why the hell not? So, I feel like the first step is actually that, like admitting
shadow work.
Yeah. Shadow work.
I learned that word from you, by the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
I knew of it, but I really understood it from you.
Yeah. I mean, it's shadow work is doing that work on your shadow self, the person that nobody sees, the person that only you and
you got to say that one more time because these people don't get it.
Yeah.
What is shadow work?
Shadow work is the work that you do on your shadow self, which is really the person that you don't show the world. When you go to sleep,
don't show the world.
Yeah, that person that you are talking to. Here's the thing: you talk to yourself more than anyone in the world. So why not talk to yourself the right way?
Right.
Why not say some positive, some great things? Right. And doing that work, I think that shadow work is most important to start with, because you can't start nowhere else. You have to start with yourself, and obviously you yourself first. But we all have gone through traumatic experiences and things like that. And so, most of the things that we project and the way that we think we are, in reality is not even real, because we're not putting our true selves out there, because we're really just putting ourselves out there from the experiences and the traumatic experiences that we've had. And then we're using those things as defense mechanisms to actually project who we are, right?
I have a question for you. Are you sure you're ready for it?
Yeah.
What is the most traumatic thing you've experienced? And how did you get past it?
That's a great question. I can give you one of the most traumatic experiences I've been through, because there's been a few. I mean, when you talk about traumatic experiences, you can go as far back as when you were a child. Right.
Right.
I experienced my mom going through a lot of things, right? I experienced domestic violence, right? And this is just me being vulnerable and honest, because shout out to my mother, man. My mom is my everything.
Shout out to his mom. She's amazing, beautiful.
Like, my mother
Beautiful
is
woman.
my life. And shout out to my dad, because I love my dad a lot too.
Yes.
Yeah, but my mom is something about that maternal love, right? So it's like I've seen my mom go through stuff like that, and then I've seen people get shot at and hurt. Like, I come from, I've been in the streets before, and
How did you overcome it? Because there's people who are watching this right now, right?
Yeah.
Even some that I know who are like, you know what? The economy is so crazy. I'm in the streets. I don't want to learn how to trade and be better, right? I don't want to go and open up a Turo business. I don't want to go and do Airbnb. I want to go hustle in the streets. And people are having that mentality. I'd rather rob, kill, and steal.
It's right there, that mentality, right? Because that mentality comes from hustle. So if you use that same mentality, that same hustle mentality, and just apply it to something else,
right,
that's legal, right? You'll be so much more successful, because at the end of the day, when you go to the streets, the only thing is two paths, which we know, right?
Right.
Either dead or jail.
Yep.
Right? So it's like, at the end of the day, especially if you have kids, like, you know, one of the main things that had me make a huge 180 on my life was me having my son,
right.
Renell, right? And, you know, I mean, our kids are executive producers of this podcast,
right.
because we are placing our kids in exactly where we're setting an example, also placing our kids in a position to win. So that way in the near future, when they're grown and want to take on certain things that they want to do, they have some work.
Speaking of winning, you said the position to win, right? My daughter's middle name is Win. This is the Winner Seat Podcast. Okay, shout out
and
to
all
them.
we have is Winnergy.
Winnergy, that's it.
That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, man, I mean, my son has been the answer for everything.
Mm-hmm.
My son has been the answer for everything. Everything. I'm so passionate. You know how passionate I am about everything. But when it comes to my kid, literally, he's the best kid, man.
Yeah.
You know, and
He's
so
a good kid.
When I think about, you know, being in the streets and all, the first thing I thought of, how would my son look at this when he can actually think for himself and say,
right.
hey, you know, what is my dad up to?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we have to understand that we are here, we're giving an example to our kids and how they should be. Mm-hmm. So if you're all the way in the streets all the time, and, you know, your kid grows up and experiences that and has seen you from a kid to grow up and you're still in the streets, you can't tell your kid you can't be in the streets, because that's all he knows.
Right.
That's his perspective, and that's his world. And that's the thing. Like, he doesn't understand anything else but that, mm-hmm. until you break him out the box for him to understand anything else. You know what I'm saying? So, right. You know, that was the driving thing for me. Like, I'm leaving the streets 100%. And when you leave the streets, it starts to pull you back.
Right. Now, let me ask you something about this, because there's a lot of people watching and they've, you know, explored with the streets and all that. Isn't it just something that just kind of happens because no one's guiding anyone? It's not even like, hey, go and do this or do that. It's like, hey, you know, come kick it with me and da-da-da-da. Especially it seems like in New York. Like, it seems to be a common thing amongst Black and Spanish that it's just like the only option almost, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
so that means you got work to do. You got to go save New York.
100%. I have to do. Yeah, I'm your friendly neighborhood superhero, Spider-Man. But you're absolutely right. How did it just kind of happens? Well, I think it's more about Renell's upbringing. You know, his mom is amazing, right? Mm-hmm. He has a lot of my mindset, right? And wisdom, because I instill wisdom into him every day. I actually just got off a phone call before coming in here. He's like, "Go, Dad, go kill it," you know. But I think it comes down to what you're instilling in your kids from jump, mm-hmm. right? And to everyone out there that has kids, 2, 3, 4, 5, Jamie, my bro, talk to them. Don't goo gaga them.
Right.
Talk to them. Tell them real life shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're 4 or 5. They're not going to understand a bit, but I promise you, this is when their subconscious is the most active. Absolutely. As a child.
Absolutely.
So these things are going to set here in the subconscious. And I know that because I'm living experience of it right now. My son spits back everything I've taught him. Mm-hmm. And now that brings me to the point. How do you know? Because you just kind of get, you just kind of get like, oh, you just come over here. You don't know if you're in the streets or not. Because it just starts by like you chilling, right?
Right.
But it's all about what you instill in your kids. Because if you instill the right things, it's not about them not chilling. It's about when is enough. When this goes from chilling to doing something wrong.
Right.
So now Renell has enough self-control to say, all right, you know what? This is not chilling anymore. I see you guys about to do this or that. I'm going to go ahead and dip.
Yep.
Right. And then if it becomes a thing of that's your circle, and your circle could do here and there a certain amount of things, whatever the case may be, as a mistake, because kids do a whole bunch of stuff. But if it starts becoming a norm, then now, as a kid, you start to say, like for example, Renell, you start to say, okay, my circle is starting to change.
Yeah.
That means I have to start changing my circle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My circle is starting to change. That means that I have to change my circle.
Right.
Right. And because if it's changing for the worse and not for the better,
Mm-hmm.
then now that's when that change of circle starts to come in, because now his mindset is not like theirs. Right. So I feel like you don't know. You don't know if you're getting taken to the streets, but it's all about the upbringing, because if he has the right upbringing, I fully trust my son when he's out with his friends and all that stuff.
Here's something interesting that people don't touch on. Even as adults, you can get pulled in the wrong directions. You can get wrapped up with the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people can present you with things, opportunities, this, that.
Yeah.
And you'll go down a whirlwind of freaking issues, you know? And I can say that to answer the same question I asked you about me going through a traumatic experience.
Yes.
You know,
we'll get into more specifics on traumatic experiences as these episodes go. Trust me.
Yeah.
But I do want to know. Yes.
I think off the top of my head, I think the most traumatic experience has to be me choosing to be a single mother. For those of you who don't know, I have a 2-year-old. I used a donor.
She's so cute.
And we had an understanding of, like, you know, he was a friend, he'll be present, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. And now I realize that, like, I have that single mother stigma. Like, for single dads, it's okay when a man has a child. Like, if it's 1, okay. 2, okay. 3, kind of pushing it. 4, all right now, you know. With a woman, 1 is like, ooh, you know. 2, 3, good luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Good luck. You better try to work it out with your baby daddy, your husband, something. Right? So for me, it's like when I look at my life and the things that I've done, I was making money.
Mm-hmm.
I had become a millionaire, and I was like, man, now COVID happened. I need to have a child. Like, what if the world's going to end? Like, what's going to happen? Like, I was just thinking all these different crazy things.
Yeah.
And I think that experience was traumatic because I went through a pregnancy by myself.
It's huge.
The things that I counted on, like the people to show up for me, didn't really show up in the way that I wanted them to.
Yeah.
It taught me that you have to love people for where they're at and who they are, and not how you expect them to be.
Can I just say something? Hold
Absolutely.
that thought. I feel like we get more so disappointed at people because of the expectations we have of them.
Yeah.
Rather than who they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because we have a certain perspective of people sometimes based on, you know, how close we are and things like that. So
right. Absolutely. And I think, you know, that's with everyone. That's family, you know, that's friends. Just the expectation that, you know, everyone's going to rally around you and show up, you know, because you show up for everyone. So it's like, you know, you think it's going to be just like the same. And I realized that, you know.
Putting yourself first. You see how you were, it's kind of like my cousin Denise again.
Yeah.
You know, you're not putting yourself first, and you're putting yourself first you're putting other people first. And so because that's your perspective and that's how you live your life, then that's how you believe that other people will be. And then you get shut down when that doesn't happen. And then you're even more baffled. Like, how is this person like just acting regular?
Right.
But they don't know any better because they're putting themselves first.
They're in their own bubble.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
you know, one thing that I learned, and this is so important, is that I am the queen of making myself uncomfortable to make other people comfortable. And it's a bad habit, you know? And
ladies and gentlemen, that's going to stop from today.
That is going to stop. It's done.
Right.
It's done.
Yeah, I'm telling her.
But yeah, the traumatic experience of like putting myself in a single mother role, and then when you start dating and stuff, it's like, oh, you have a kid? Oh, like, you know, people don't really understand. If you've never got to a place of success in your life where you're like, oh, you know, shit is real now. You know, like you start really thinking about, okay, I want a baby. I did at one point in my life think I could just do everything on my own. I wasn't even thinking about, I want a life partner. I wasn't really tripping. I was like, man, I'm shaking and moving.
Yeah. I think that comes with age as well. Like just like and where you're at in life. Some people get it later and earlier than others, but you know. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for your transparency and just feeling very comfortable.
Absolutely.
You know, speaking about these things because you're a fucking phenomenal mom.
Thank you.
Right. You know, and You have a beautiful, beautiful little daughter. But I feel like we need the traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
I feel like they're important. I feel like we can't go.
Life cannot be perfect.
No,
right? It cannot.
no. I feel like we can't go without the traumatic experiences because that's the reason why we grow, and that's why I said earlier we never fully heal, because healing just doesn't come from relationships with another person.
Right.
It could be just healing from your parents or your grandparents, or healing from ancestors, or just healing from anything. And that's why I say we got to live life like like trees.
Right.
Continuing to grow every single day until the day that is the last day for me, right?
Yeah.
And in some way, shape, or form, I have to continue to just grow. So we need the traumatic experiences and the fucked up shit to happen to us so that we can learn from those things. That's the only way we learn. What do you really gain from when you win? I mean, satisfaction, dopamine is like, oh, I win. And you can find certain lessons.
Well, what does it mean to win?
Winning.
Let's take it a step further. Does that mean monetary? Does that mean health-wise, getting to the gym, right? Because you inspire me with that. We always talk about, because there's days where like, I don't feel like going to the gym, but it's like, we're fucking winners. We got to get to it.
100%.
I'm fasting. I'm eating differently. You know what I mean? I'm not drinking as much alcohol. I'm not doing things that will cause me to not be the best version of myself,
There you go.
Things that I couldn't say no to before, like, oh, I gotta have these margaritas, right?
Yeah.
No, okay.
We're gonna have some later.
Only twice. Well, we are going for drinks. The only place, by the way, is Bossa Nova, and you guys went yesterday. I'm not sure why you already took him. That was like my little spot. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not sure. I seen it on the gram. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold up.
She told me that. But
we're gonna go again. You're gonna experience my favorite items on the menu because it's fire. But
with it.
That's the only place that I'm like, okay, I gotta have a capraína. It's a Brazilian cocktail that I love.
Yeah.
But self-control, right? And so what I do now, just to give some inspiration, because a lot of people are struggling with losing weight and getting healthy. It's not easy to go to the gym every single day, right? Let's just be for real.
It's not.
No, you shut your mouth because you go every day.
But
twice a day.
it's not though. That's what I'm saying. I have days where I
freaking go.
I have days where I don't, and I literally, nobody inspires me, motivates me, but I have to motivate myself because I just don't feel right. When you build a routine and you build a habit of doing anything,
right?
And does not take 3 weeks. That's fucking bullshit. It actually takes way more than that. It takes a good, more than 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. And I know because I've seen people go through that 3-week process and think it's going to be automatic after that, and then they lose it, right? It is a commitment to myself,
right?
To the love that I have.
The love that you have for yourself.
For myself.
Yes.
You understand? Because in reality, how do you feed your brain? By reading.
Right.
And you have to understand that this vessel is a vessel that was given to you, and we are our souls inside, but we also have to understand we have to take care of this vessel.
Right.
And the way to take care of the vessel is
get that heart pumping.
Yeah. And it's so good for your mental state as well, going to the gym. And granted, the last thing is looking good because there's so many other benefits before that. I mean, God bless us, so thank God, we look this way.
Yeah.
I'm not a cocky person. I'm just very, very confident, and I'm sure of myself just as she is. So it's like, at the end of the day, it is a commitment to myself. It is a commitment to the love that I have for myself and for my body, that I have to take care of this body so that way I can live as long as I possibly can.
Absolutely.
And so when I have a day that I don't go, I feel bad. I feel guilty. That's why I strive to, even when I don't feel, because I have days, Tosh, I swear to God, I have days where I don't feel like going. I'm tired, especially like after 2 leg days in a row.
And your trainer is crazy.
Crazy. He has me working out, shout out to Fabian. He has me working out 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I told him, is there sometimes where I'm very busy, so is there sometimes where I maybe can go 6 days? Right? And,
but let me ask you this question. Can we be vulnerable for a second?
Yeah.
There was a time in your life where you didn't like the way that you looked, baby.
No.
You didn't like maybe being skinny?
No.
You didn't like not having muscles?
Yeah.
And you did something about it?
100%.
And so this is what's important. A lot of us...
I look malnourished. And I swear, my mom really cooked for me, but I look malnourished, but it just have a fast metabolism, so I have to, But.
So I did this on my Instagram. There was a guy who went viral. You guys saw him. He had the glasses. One eye was like cockeyed. and he was a little chunkier. Nice looking guy, but just not in his best version of himself, right? And he went viral because a girl stood him up on a date, and he was kind of crying and saying like he was tired of being like stood up, right?
Yeah.
And I had wrote on my Instagram saying like, these are some things that a person can do to like improve themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he saw it, and I didn't know, and I didn't tag him or nothing, but I didn't know that when you like repost somebody's video, it alerts them. I'm one of the nicest people, I promise you. I don't bully people. I don't do that.
Nice.
But I was just trying to like, I had shared this message with a friend.
But you also very, 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 very beautiful, nice, beautiful person. But you also have no filter like me.
I don't have a filter because
straight shot.
You know what it is?
It's better. It's better that way.
Let me tell you why.
Don't change that, please.
Let me tell you why.
Don't change that.
This is the real.
It's better that way.
Let me tell you why. I have to be honest with you. This is the real fucking world, right? Yeah. Right now, I'm down like 37 pounds. Why did I get there? Because I was tired. I didn't want to keep drinking and hanging out and kicking it. I don't want to keep making excuses.
You made a choice.
I made a choice. I made a decision. And let me tell you something. Right now, I was in Atlanta, and I ate French fries like 2 days in a row, and I was like, dang. I'm noticing this. So you know what I have to do when I come back? I got to fast. So on top of working out, I got to hit my elliptical machine.
But you're conscious for it.
I'm conscious.
You're conscious.
If I eat too much, if I don't eat between the window of 12 and 5, really 12 and 6, right? I'll eat a protein like a salmon from Bossa Nova. Shout out Bossa Nova. We're going to go ahead and get a sponsorship. But anyway.
Facts.
I get a salmon with a Caesar salad.
Amazing.
Food is off the chain.
Christ.
Off the chain. I like the one downtown the best. But
yeah.
I eat that. I'll eat fish. Mm-hmm. I cook like crazy, right?
She's a chef.
My sea bass is off the chain.
Can we say that? Because she's just being very just like trying to be calm with it.
I enjoy feeding those that I love and care about. I really do. I really enjoy someone trying something that I made.
Can you say that again?
I really enjoy feeding people that I care about.
I promise you that is not just about literally physical food. That's literally in all sense of aspect. That's how I took it.
That is true. No, that's true.
100%.
I think that if you find people that you vibe and that you rock with and you connect with, like you can love each other, and it doesn't have to be romantic, right?
No.
It doesn't have to be like it could be friendships. It could be bonds that are like one of my homeboys, he told me the other day, he was like, you know what? I think you're my soulmate. And I was like, and he just got married, right? And I was just like, I said, what?
Soulmate.
I said, what made you say that? And he was like, because he was like, it's just the joy I feel with you. He was like, it's just a certain joy.
There's a friendship soulmate, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that those things occur where people just connect and bond in certain ways. And so I think for me, I do want to feed those around me, and because they feed me too, right?
100%.
And so, like, getting back to this topic of like how to make sure you take care of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was chunkier, you couldn't even tell. It was just a whole bunch of booty, right? Like, I don't want that though. I want to be slim, fit. I want my health. I want my heart to pump. I want my heart to know that I love you.
Yes.
I want to sweat.
Yes.
I want to feel.
Ooh.
And then a water fast is difficult. Just water. Man, you feel so good. It heals your colon. So I had a colonoscopy.
Just this?
Yeah. I had a colonoscopy done, right? And I was scared because I was like, dang, my mom, had colon cancer at one point. She beat it. And I was like, dang, I don't feel like I go as much as normal people.
Yeah.
So I went and got a colonoscopy. But before I went, I did my water fast. I do it once a month, 3 days out of the week.
Mm-hmm.
When your colon is not constantly moving from eating all day long, it can literally heal. I got the results. And the doctor came in, he was like, hey. And I was kind of scared. I was like, hey. And he was like,
healthy.
You had one of the best colons I've seen. I said, really? He was like, yeah. It's really relaxed. I said, damn, that fasting.
Yeah.
Because I give my colon a chance to have a break.
100%.
I eat within a certain window. And sometimes I have my cheat days, right? If I drink alcohol, okay, cool. I know I got to work out.
Health and wellness, man. It's just...
I got to drink that water. I got to flush it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a lifestyle. Don't even look at it as a chore. It's a lifestyle.
That is the key there. Like, it's a lifestyle. Because the way that you build a routine is by starting a habit.
Right.
And you do habits long enough, then your brain doesn't even have to think about doing these things. Right. It just does it. Kind of like brushing your teeth, right?
Yep.
Which is why I started brushing my
with
teeth
the left hand.
With the left hand.
We brush our teeth with our left hands because we're both right-handed and we're doing this challenge.
And I suggest that you guys do the challenge as well. I mean, what it does is that it gets your brain working quicker as soon as you get up. You brush your teeth, it gets your brain working, because in reality, when you build a habit, your brain just does things without. That's why you're able to brush your teeth and do something else with your left hand, or
Yeah.
think about other things while you're brushing your teeth. You're not thinking about, oh, I got to go up and down and do all these things because it's already a routine. It's a habit. You've been doing it all your life. So your brain literally is dormant.
Yep.
While you're doing these things that's habitual, right?
And let me tell you guys something. He's such an executor. I had told him about this. He was like, yeah, I already did it. I already started.
Yeah,
I was like, well, I just told you about it. He was like, yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, because if I see something that can make me better physically, mentally, financially, or spiritually, I'm gonna right away. Like I my thing is, people are like, oh, why you read so much? Like, I just don't read. I read and apply.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you could read all you want.
Speaking of that,
you know,
I want to talk about your routine because that's inspired me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First thing you do when you wake up in the morning, let's talk about it. And this is so important, and this is why I gravitated towards him so much and why we connected so much, because he's not full of shit. This is really his routine. Please let the people know.
So, I obviously we're LA. First time I'm in LA. I love LA, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to LA, man. Y'all got my heart. But I'm in the East Coast, right? So I'm in Boston. So I get up anywhere between 6 a.m., 6:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I do, actually just started a couple weeks ago. The first hour and a half, 2 hours of my day, as soon as I wake up, I'm not grabbing my phone.
Right.
Our habit as humans nowadays, the social media and all that stuff, not grab your phone. You can grab your phone. I'm talking about social media, right?
Instagram.
Because you're literally feeding, the first thing you do is feed your brain that. You know how much toxicity and bullshit there is in social media, even if there's some good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's just a constant search for dopamine and all that stuff. No. So I started not looking at my phone 2 hours before going to sleep and an hour after waking up, right? So the first thing I do is, obviously just started going straight to the bathroom and like brushing my teeth, shower, all that stuff, right?
With the left hand.
Started brushing my teeth with the left hand, right? Again, habit. Your brain already knows it's a habit, so it doesn't have to think about doing it. So now brushing my teeth with my left hand has created now my brain to start working quicker, right? So then after I do that, obviously wash my face wash, all that stuff. Then I repeat. I look at myself in the mirror directly, and I repeat to myself, "I love you," 20 times. Mm-hmm. Now I started mixing that up because what I did was now I say, "I love you," and I don't just say "I love you" 25 times. I say the reasons why I love myself. Mm-hmm. Ramses, I love that you're abundant. Yep. I love that you're amazing. Mm-hmm. I love how you treat people. I love how you are with people. I love how confident you are. I love how valuable you are, and all these things, looking directly in the mirror. I did it this morning. Everything I'm telling you, I did it this morning.
Oh, I know you. Listen, I already know.
You know what I'm saying? So once I do that, then it's 25 deep breaths. Mm-hmm. So what that does is that the crazy pump of oxygen into your brain. Yep. Right. So you made your brain think. You did auto-suggestion.
By the way, you should do that with the shower going so you can get that steam.
Yeah. Oof.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. Then, so, you get your brain working, then you get auto-suggestion going with the I love yous and why, you know what I'm saying? And it's affirmation. It's a great way to start the day. And then obviously the deep breaths will get some good oxygen pumping into your brain, which obviously it needs it in order to think a lot better. And then from there, take myself a shower, stretch, and then I go into my prayer and meditation session, right? Where I don't believe that I can go a day without thanking God that I'm alive.
Absolutely.
Simply, I always say this, you have two gifts and they're your eyes, and you have two gifts and you open them every day. Yep. So after that, everything is up to you. So, a prayer meditation session usually depends. Obviously, today I'm in LA, so I do these things quick, maybe 10 minutes. But when I'm home and in comfort of my home, anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes for prayer and meditation. Mm-hmm. That's why I need like a good hour for myself, because that hour, instead of me looking at the phone, social media and getting all this, that hour I take it for myself. And I don't do this with any music. Very quiet. Everything needs to be quiet and chill. If I do any music, it has to be some sort of frequency, the 456 hertz or 960 hertz, or these are frequencies that I listen to on YouTube. So these are just things that open up your brain cells and things like that. So It takes me roughly, like, I have literally, for me to get my day started, I need that whole hour for myself to be able to do all of that.
Right.
And then I can conquer the entire fucking universe.
Yep.
From there. You know what I'm saying?
And see, years ago, I used to meditate before bed. Usually not in the morning. I would pray before bed. And ever since, you've been telling me about that, I've been like, you know what? Let me just do it in the morning too. At night, I meditate at night. It creates a certain level of peace.
To give thanks at night, that's cool. But I feel like I got to wake up. So that is, to me, is like, wow. Like, thank you, God. And like, it's like, I really thank him for everything.
Yep.
Just nature, the sun, the trees.
Absolutely.
I mean, everything. I have you in my prayers as well. All the people that I love in my prayers, everyone around me.
Listen, that's the best gift you can give me is a prayer.
100%.
Because this world is crazy, man.
And it comes from a very great place because I'm very, very deeply connected to the ether, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. I'm very, very aligned. I'm in super alignment. So anytime I speak and put things out there, they end up happening.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes.
One, because I don't take no for an answer. It's just, I am.
Right.
And two, just because I feel like we're all really manifestors. We're all abundant human beings, and some people just don't know how to tap into that part of their brain and just understand that we're all one and we're all connected.
Yes.
And we all have access to that infinite intelligence at the end of the day. So I think that comes with self first. And if you take care of yourself mentally, physically, financially, all that,
it all flows.
Mentally, it all flows. So yeah, it's very important. That morning thing is very important for me. That morning routine is very important before I even start because it's all about self. Yeah. It has nothing to do with business, not other people. It's just all about self.
And so I think that, everyone who's watching, I challenge you. Yeah. Don't go straight to your phone in the morning. Go and manifest your life. Tell yourself you love yourself in the mirror. Maybe you can't do it 25 times, maybe 10, right? Take some deep breaths. Like, just change up your routine. See how different you feel, right? Because we get so conditioned. I'm guilty. I go to my phone. I scroll on Instagram. Why?
I was guilty 2 weeks ago of that. I just stopped. I literally just stopped. You know what I'm saying? That was like the last few things. And even like, did you know that doing, if you don't look at your phone 2 hours before you go to sleep, at least an hour before you go to sleep, you can sleep very nicely and relaxed. Usually some people have insomnia because, or don't have insomnia. They just can't sleep because they're stuck on their phone an hour scrolling through Instagram or whatever, but right before they go to sleep, and they put their phone down and they think like that's not good for your retinas and your eyes. Like,
for sure. But here's the craziest thing. What we're going to do, we're going to put together a YouTube playlist that's going to be put on by the Winner's Seat Podcast, which is going to help you to go to sleep. And this is an exclusive. We're just now letting you guys know. You'll be able to hear it.
I already have.
And it'll go for like 8 hours, and you'll just rest peacefully. And it's going to be different sound bells and sound bowls and all kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that, because resting is so important.
That's a great idea.
Boom. Sure. Like, resting is so important. If you don't have proper rest, you can't think properly the next day. Everything gets thrown off.
You like literally, if you go days without resting correctly, you can start hallucinating. It's ridiculous.
Tripping out. Being feisty, angry.
Bad moods, and then you start, everything is just annoying you. And it's like, that's why I usually do everything at the beginning of the day. I take an hour for myself before I attack the day or deal with people. That's why I'm able to deal with a negative person in such a calming way.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because
and you moved away from New York, because New York, man, that place is an angry place. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying? And don't get it to, of course,
I love New York.
New York is my home. Always will be my home, but you motherfuckers are rude as fuck.
Crazy. So how was it when you went to Boston, and it's like everybody's just not as crazy as New Yorkers? Were you kind of like...
And by
the way, you haven't really seen nothing yet. California, we're so nice.
I see it. I mean, I'm
nothing like New Yorkers.
Do you know where I'm at? I live in Boston in Weymouth, and it's the suburbs, right? It's very. I went from going to sleep hearing trains and baby mama arguing downstairs, music, the freaking Spanish dembow, all that stuff, right? To me downloading an app to try to figure out what bird is that.
Yeah.
Because all I hear was birds. And I'm like, yo, It's a beautiful thing. I'm so grateful where I'm at, like, you know, and just living there. I feel like it's the reason why I continue to elevate, because I'm glad that we're talking about this, because this was literally a message that I wanted. You, whoever you are, if you've been thinking about moving out of your environment, I promise you that's the cheat code.
Yeah.
I promise you, this young lady right here did it.
And I might do it again. I love LA, but I might go somewhere else, because, like, why not?
Why not?
Build a
relationship.
relationship.
And the beautiful thing is that why not? Because you have the freedom for it.
Right.
Because you built that. Right. So it's like, get the fuck out of your comfort zone.
Right.
She's the queen of making herself uncomfortable.
Man, I'm telling you.
I'm literally the pharaoh of making myself, uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because you're comfortable. That's what you know. Right. So you ain't gonna get nothing new from there. But being uncomfortable is it's not really uncomfortable. It's just an unknown, unfamiliar place. Right. Whether that's, physically or mentally, right? So get out from where you live. If you've been thinking about it and your heart is telling you, I want to move and I don't know where, figure out where do you think that your personality and your energy fits, and go do that. Absolutely. Go do it. Take that risk. Take that risk. God damn it. I took a U-Haul truck with all my stuff. Yep. By myself, driving. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm fucking crazy.
I'm out.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, my son lives in New York, so I wanted to make sure that if I go somewhere, it's for me to thrive. It's for me to grow, but I need to be at least close. It's a 2.5, 3 hour ride.
I want to tell you something really crazy. You're going to love LA so much, you're going to be like, dang, I might have to move to the West Coast. That's
the problem is if I might have to move to the West Coast, then you can't leave.
That's true. That's true. That is so true. That is so true.
Might take freaking Jamie with me. Jamie over here like, yo, I love LA, man.
So we had a couple of people who sent in some questions, right?
Yes.
We were filming this a month and a half ago, but we decided to come and do it in person in the studio. Yeah. And at that time, you guys sent in some questions that you wanted us to touch on. So I don't want to forget that.
Yeah.
Do you have...
Especially because we're getting, I think we have, 20 minutes left maybe?
Yeah.
This is the first episode, so it's a little longer than usual, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm loving this so far.
Yeah,
so,
it's good energy, it's good vibes.
Always. I have some of the questions here. I have 3 of them. Okay, so I would say, right, how do you feel? Yeah.
I remember one of the ones that, I don't know if you have this one written down. Someone had asked, as a boss female.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to that. That's the one. Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna let him do it.
I'll say it like this, but I want to get your perspective on because you're a boss female, and then I'll obviously give you my perspective. That's why I said being more careful. Like how do you? They're asking pretty much is how do you deal with people, right? Knowing that you're a successful woman, right?
It depends on if they're talking about dating or friendships.
Dating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to touch on both. Friendships for me with women, for some reason, are a lot more challenging than it is with men. Mm-hmm. Me and men just kind of like vibe, because I think when a woman is in her... Now, this is the part, we'll talk about this later on, but there's alpha, alpha, beta. Mm-hmm. There's a long list of these different titles, right? And a lot of men feel like they all have to be, I'm alpha. No, you're not all alpha, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't have to all be alpha. It's okay to be alpha beta. And when people see me, they're like, oh, you're an alpha female. No, that's not true. I'm alpha beta, meaning that I actually know how to be submissive. I know how to be feminine, but it's the energy of my partner and who I'm with, right? I also know how to run the whole show. I know how to control everything, dominate the entire scene, but I also know how to take a step back and let a king lead, right? So to answer your question, it's so important. And you know what else is important? People have to understand each other's love languages. If your love language is to dominate,
why you giving so much? Because we're in the Winner Seat podcast.
I'm telling you, in order to have a winning relationship, you have to understand the
person's love language.
Key person. Like a lot of men right now go around saying like, I want peace. I just want a peaceful girl. I just want peace. You know what? And this is gonna sound like interesting, because like a guy that I have dated before, he was like, I'm dating a girl, she brings me peace, right? Peace is boring sometimes.
Yeah.
Like 100%. That peaceful shit is cool until you look around and you didn't accomplish none of your goals. Sometimes you got to be with a spicy woman who's gonna challenge you. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean you should fight, right? It means that you guys need to know how to handle conflict. But a woman who is has just like a certain drive.
We're gonna call it exciting peace.
Exciting piece, but it's a little bit more like it's the energy of like she's a go-getter.
Yeah.
She's gonna wake up, she's gonna go in a room and she's gonna collect business cards, she's gonna talk to people, she's gonna be like, hey, this is everybody we gotta network with.
Well,
and the
not guys like me, but some guys, which is why we even brought this conversation up, some guys might not feel comfortable with that, right? Some guys are not comfortable with having a girl that's more successful than them, or having a girl that's like, you know, you get to a place and everyone knows her, or like you get to a place and you're like networking and, you know, and
it takes a certain kind of man, right?
100%.
And it has to take a certain kind of man who is not like, because if you have a dream and I have a dream, then you sit down and say, how are we going to make both dreams happen?
100%.
So it don't matter what relationships I have. It don't matter how popular I am. It don't matter how much money I got. No. If we got a dream and we sitting down and we outlining this vision and this is the goal, it don't matter who I'm talking to. The trust is there. You trust me. You're loyal. I trust you. You're loyal.
Know that.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know that.
Yeah.
Not the guy. And again, there's a lot of guys that are like that, because there's a lot of guys that are alpha for certain things, but they're not alpha for that. But in reality, that's not a real alpha. Right. I think it's more so insecurities.
Yeah.
Right. I think that comes from insecurities. You're not sure about yourself. You don't value yourself, because it doesn't matter if I have a girl that's more successful than I am, and I'm not as successful as her. Like, I want her to shine. It's not even
about the success. You know what it's about too? Mm-hmm. If she goes in a room and she commands attention. I just was at Invest Fest. I'm telling you right now.
It's that aura, though.
Every head is turning.
But that's that aura.
How does that make a guy that you're with feel, though? You know? He starts getting insecure. He starts, like, you know what I'm saying? He starts stressing out. Yeah. And I think you got to come from a place of like, because men like that somebody is looking at their chick. They like that until they don't really like it. You know what I'm saying? Then they start feeling like they can be replaced, or then it's like, then they're not confident within themselves. But if you sit down with your girl,
insecurities can go so far.
So far. Insecurity can ruin a lot of things instead of communicating, right?
Security is the reason why a lot of relationships and friendships have been ruined in reality.
Absolutely. So, jealousy, insecurity. And it's like, you know, to answer the person's question about, like, when it comes to dating, I've been asked a lot of different things. Can you date a guy who doesn't have as much money as you? Listen, I could date a guy that doesn't have as much money as me, but you got to have as much drive as me.
Yeah, I don't think you're not the person to care about that. You're obviously, you know, none of us want somebody that doesn't have any purpose, right?
But here's what happens though: you can build someone up, and they can move on to the next person. So you got to be real careful.
Well, that's on you to make sure that you use the right discernment to know which person is for you.
But people will change. People change like the wind. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you take a risk on love, or you risk just being by yourself and just saying, fuck this shit. I don't want to be with nobody. But that's not fun.
No,
right?
Of course not.
So to me,
and it's not life, because we're meant to be with a partner.
We are meant to be with a partner. Yeah. To me, what makes the most sense, if I'm being honest, is like if you're dating a guy, because a woman still wants to be courted, right? She wants a man to take her out to dinner. She wants dates. What makes the most sense? And ladies who are successful out there, and even men who are successful, what makes the most sense? You got to be on one accord, right? Yeah. If you're dating, if a woman has more money than you, or you have more money than her, you come together and you create a side business, and that business covers all your date night and all your housing expenses and all the expenses that you guys are going to incur, so that it's not like all this pressure on him and then it's pressure on her.
It's 100%.
The business, nobody does this though. They don't think like this. No. The business, and I'm not saying right off the bat the business is just going to be explosive, right? No. But you choose a business that, let's say it brings in $5,000-$10,000 a month. That goes towards savings. That goes towards, like, you sit down and you say, hey, let's learn how to trade together.
It's the plan. It's what I'm saying. People. It's
the blueprint.
I'm gonna tell you what it is right now.
I've been saying this for years.
I'm gonna drop this bomb. Are you ready?
Oh God, let's hear it.
Everyone and their mama today wants a relationship.
Yes.
But nobody wants a partner.
Ooh.
Two different things.
Ooh.
I don't mean a business partner. I mean a life partner.
A life partner.
Like, what is a life partner? It's not about just a relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, we love each other. We're going to go do these fun things. We're going to go on vacations and we're going to do all this. Yeah, of course you do all that. But also, what are you doing to better yourself?
And when you go back home, right? When the vacation's over.
When it's done, like, what do you do? Are you guys like this on the phone all day?
Right.
And then not even speaking to yourselves? How do you even get to know that person?
Are you guys laughing?
You know what I'm saying?
Are you freaking?
Yeah. And doing other activities that bring out other stuff other than just fun, right? You know, are you building businesses together? Are you getting to know each other together? Are you reading together? Are you working out together? These things are powerful. And which makes you closer as you know a partner, right? And that's what I'm saying. A relationship is just a relationship. It's it's what it is. Two people together, right? But at the end of the day, a partner, a life partner, is someone that is helping you get better while you help that person get better as well in the journey of you guys both loving each other.
Yeah. Working out, like you said, I think is interesting because a lot of times women don't want to work out. And sometimes men too. Like sometimes people don't want. I was that person. I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to work out. I think
everyone in their fucking mama should work out because I think that's something that it's just the only way we can take care of our body.
It's the only way. But sometimes it takes effort. It takes push me, you know what I mean? But push me with love. And it also takes don't give up on me. Like this is to ladies and to men, right? Because there's a lot of men who's walking around a little fluffy these days. I'm seeing it. Right? It's fluffy. Don't give up on your person if they're not ready to work out. You know the way you show it to them? You go and work out every day, and you start looking good every day. Oh. And then it's like, wait a minute, hold up. They're gonna start slowly joining you.
Yeah, and
it doesn't matter. They're gonna join you.
They're gonna, and if they love you, they're gonna. And that's another thing I think is huge to say. We live in a society now where when you're in a relationship, things are going good. One bad thing, I'm done.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work shit out.
I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of like, I'm done. But you know what? That's from an unhealed place. Yeah. It was from my own insecurity of feeling like.
Let it be because of something else that you're done. Not because because usually the small things are things that can be fixed with communication. And let's be honest, obviously we know communication is not everything, comprehension is.
Right.
Right. We need to make sure that we understand, not just and kind of like listen to understand, not listen to respond.
But you know what's so key? That person has to have a communicative energy.
Yeah.
It can't be like when you remove ego, right? You strip everything away and you say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I hurt you.
Oh, it's tough for people to do that.
Can people say, I'm sorry, I hurt you? Yeah. Let's start over. Let's start the day again.
Yeah, it's tough. Some people can't do that. But again, when somebody's sure about themselves and self-love, and when it comes down to being able to be vulnerable and do that,
right?
If you're not, some people are not open to communicating, is because the energy in that situation hasn't been comfortable enough for them to communicate. Because everyone in their mother, I don't care if you're an introvert or whatever, everyone in their mother will communicate if they want to.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of comfortability and how comfortable you make the space for them in order to communicate.
Right.
You understand? So
communication is so important.
Yeah.
Sometimes I over communicate,
Sometimes it's better that way.
But you know what? The delivery of your communication too.
That is
when you're in your healing space and you're not in this angry girl, because there's this stigma that Black women are angry, Spanish women angry, gonna cuss you out, putada, like all that. Like,
fact.
It's like I'm realizing that a lot of women of color, we have so much trauma that we hold on to in our gut.
Yeah.
We have to release that. We have to release it. And I was able to release it. I did, 2 months ago, I did a chakra cleansing.
Nice.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
She told me how, your heart is you have so much energy in your stomach and in your gut.
Yeah.
And
your second brain.
Yes. And I was like, I understood and learned how to release it.
Yeah.
And it's like, your delivery with people, you tell them what it is, you communicate, and then you drop the mic and keep it going.
Yeah.
It's not from a place of hurt, not from a place of pain, anger.
No.
Somebody can let you down. I had someone recently completely let me down. Completely. This guy I was talking to.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good.
But it's not going to work.
It's always a personal problem. Yeah. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Like if the other party kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't take it personal because again, it's a personal problem from them. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So it's usually more so projecting, which is why I said I don't take anything personal. And in reality, sometimes it's hard because you're like, shit, sometimes you get hurt. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to acknowledge that and be, and be into that for that moment. It's just about not staying in that hurt,
For sure. And to tackle that question again, I think every woman, and this is going to sound crazy, they always think that, I want a guy who's bossed up and who has a bunch of money. Right. This is how the mindset of like, I want a rich man. Like, that's just what it is. But when you really
look at the girls saying that though.
I've said it.
Yeah. But you are one of not many.
Which is true.
But
I don't have that same mindset at this time because it's like, man, connection, loyalty.
You said it from an unhealed place. Now you're entering this whole different space, which again, I thank you for being vulnerable and speaking like this, right? Because the reason why we even started this podcast, and I'll be honest, was just because we was having some amazing conversations over the phone. And Tasha's like, listen, people need to hear this.
They need to hear it.
You know what I'm saying? So here we are. But
and I'm usually behind the scenes, and I'm like, you know what, man, I'm busting out. Like,
no, you have to. And I feel like the delivery is everything. I'm glad that you brought up delivery because we never finished on the guy that went viral, right?
You're right.
Right. And go about that and what we spoke about, you know, because at the end of the day.
So I copied and pasted what a person DM'd me saying, hey, what do you think about this guy? You know, I know you got your podcast coming up. I respect your opinion on so many things. I want to know what you think about him. And I told him.
Again, we're talking about the guy that went viral.
That went viral.
With the, cross-sided guy.
Yeah, and he had his date had abandoned him or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so to my friend.
He's a comedian, by the way.
I saw that. Yeah. That wasn't a joke, though. So basically, I said, and I'll repeat it, and shout out to him, you know, and I hope that you're healing, and I hope that you
100%.
took the things that I said into consideration, because a lot of people will pacify, right? And even within my own self, I don't want to be pacified. Tell me the real.
No.
Sometimes I want to look my best. I want to feel my best.
Hurts,
yeah,
and I'd rather just be laid on you straight up.
Matter of fact, what did you tell me? You told me do not date for some time.
No.
And you said, I'm telling you, you was like, don't. I can't remember exactly your words.
Yeah, I said don't date. Don't date. It's okay to talk to guys. It's okay to go on a date, but don't take the time for yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking date yourself. Be in a relationship with yourself. That's what I said.
And I
learn yourself.
I didn't listen, and it backfired.
Yeah, you didn't listen. And while it was happening, obviously, because we need the experiences in traumatic situations. So while it's happening, obviously, I know that it shouldn't be, and we've already had the conversation, but it's necessary for you to learn again. Right. And it's like, oh shit, like it wasn't just me just saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been through this pattern, and then I stopped for a little bit. Maze kept telling me, you know, and then next thing you know, it backfires again. It's like shit. Like I really, and it's not when I say get in a relationship with yourself and learn yourself a lot more. When you learn yourself a lot more, then you know what you like, what you don't like, what you accept and don't accept, and what you tolerate and don't tolerate a lot more because you know yourself a lot more. Right. And so these are the things that have you grounded and will have you value yourself a lot more when you can say, hey, I really like this person, but this person is not good for me.
Right.
I have to walk away because I like myself a lot more. I'm sorry. I love myself
a lot more.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been in situations where I've had to walk away from a situation that I would want, right? Because again, we don't get disappointed by people. We get disappointed by the expectation of what it could be, or the potential of what it could be, and that's when we fuck up. And that doesn't just go for relationship. That can be. You can get enamored on anything, on an opportunity. Sometimes an opportunity is not here, 30 days away, and you're like making all these plans based on you getting the opportunity, and the day comes in and you don't get the opportunity, and now your whole world falls. It's the expectations, the potential of things. Just be real with yourself and just take in the now, the moment. Right? Tomorrow will be tomorrow. Yesterday is gone. It's only in your memory. It's not real. And just from there, you go. So back to your to the topic on the delivery.
Oh yeah. So delivery. Delivery is so important. I mean, if that's not the biggest thing that I've learned this year, is how you deliver. Yeah. How you deliver your feelings. Mm-hmm. How do you deliver your pain, your happiness, your joy, everything. Because what you can say can make or break someone. Yeah. So I was responding to a friend, and I said like this. I said, listen, if he lost some weight, he got a trainer. He got a life coach to help him have some confidence. I said, if he got his teeth looked at, his eye fixed, and I said, if he life coach, I think those are the main things that I said. I said he would be a nice looking guy. Yeah. He would be okay.
And I went through the comments and I saw a lot of the same things.
But it was me that it was because I had I have a following, so I copied it because somebody else hit me and asked me the same thing. What do you think about this guy? Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Let me just post about it. And
what did I tell you when you first showed me?
When I showed it to you, And you seen it, you was like,
I absolutely agree.
you thought it was a good post, but you said, I thought the delivery could have been a little bit gentle, a little more gentler.
Yeah.
The thing is, I shouldn't have just copied and pasted what I was talking to my friend. I should have
Could have said the same exact thing. It's just,
Yeah, I could have been a little more nurturing with my delivery about that.
Yes.
But I also felt like, and he DM'd me, and he told me like, it hurt me kind of how the things that you said, and I said, listen, I'm telling you this from an honest place. I think that you have a nice look.
Yeah.
I can see past the thick goggles, the eye. I can see all past that.
Mm-hmm.
You have a nice complexion. You have a nice look. You just got to like love on yourself. And I said, I'm sorry if my delivery I said, I'll take it down. I said, I want you to know that, my job was never to be harmful to you, ever. That's not.
And I know you wanted, because that's what you kept telling me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't believe like he
was hurt.
Said
I didn't
it wrong.
want to
What did I tell you? I said, I think the best course of action would be just to DM him.
Yeah.
DM him. Tell him your true, because I know who you are.
Yeah.
I know your true intentions.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
He was so hurt, and he said it. He was like, it was hurtful, and I was like, I told him the truth. I have a brother who had been in an accident, and he has gone through his own journey. And I would never, want to have anyone who has any type of disability, any type of, ailment going on with them to feel attacked, right?
Yeah, your heart's not.
And the same thing that I say to my family members and people who have anything going on. You cannot let any illness, any type of handicap, anything prevent you from being the best version of yourself.
100% no.
And we can't stay stuck. You have to get unstuck, right? If, a surgery to get an eye fixed, cool, right? Like getting a trainer to work out, saying, hey, I'm going to do this for
and you're telling him things to better himself regardless.
And these are things that like, I've done the fasting. I thought I could never fast. I'm like, man, I love French fries, by the way. Shout out French fries.
Yeah, shout out to French fries.
Oh man,
I love me
fries.
some French fries.
Sheesh,
I'm
who's
gonna
the
have
best
to
fries?
have me some
Who has the
after
best
this.
Who do you think has the best fries?
Don't get me going, because I'm gonna go real cheap on you, and I'm gonna tell you I don't know. I think McDonald's is gonna have to take it.
We have the same exact thoughts. Other than Five Guys, their fries are really good too.
Yeah.
But getting back on topic.
Burgers, by the way. Shit.
See, In-N-Out.
I'm hungry now.
Have you had In-N-Out?
Get me? Oh no.
You're in Cali. You got to get In-N-Out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You know about In-N-Out?
No.
Oh, he knows. You got to experience In-N-Out. They're the best.
But
back to
delivery.
The delivery was important. And when you're in a relationship, when you're with friendships, even with your parents, your delivery. And the best thing to do, even if you're upset, pause and think to yourself and say,
you've been listening to me too much. Swear.
Is this the best way to deliver this message? Yeah. Could I say it better? Could I give it less of a blow?
Yeah, because it's not about not saying it. It's about saying it exactly how you want to say it, but there's better words to choose. And in reality, when something hits you right away in the height of emotion,
right?
You can say things in certain ways that might not be favorable.
Right.
For you or the other person, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like if you just pause for a minute and actually just sit on the situation, so that way you can process and analyze how you can actually communicate your point of view. Here's the deal. You can be right.
Right.
And the reasoning of being right can be completely canceled out based on your delivery. Right?
Yeah.
And so if the delivery is not right, it becomes a behavioral problem now, because now the issue is not even the issue. The issue is, why are you so rude? Why are you so mean? I don't even want to listen to you now.
And you know what else is important? Because I found myself last year, it was a tough year. It was like a lot going on, 2021 was an amazing year. Yeah. Shout out 2021.
Yeah, shout out 2021.
Yeah,
that's when I opened my business. Shout out 2021. I'm
was a good year.
super amazing, lucrative year.
Man, 2022
yeah.
was a tough year, and I found myself on edge.
I will be on. I'm with you. I'm with you there. 2022 was business is beautiful, because business goes like this, and then business goes like that. 2022 was a tough year.
Yeah, a lot of people told this to me too, and a lot of people were on edge, and a lot of people were on eggshells, and I found myself fussy, snappy, but. When I go back to the core of who I am, I was on meditating and being peaceful years ago. That was who I was. Yeah. But sometimes you let things alter your presence, alter your energy. Yeah. And You can never forget who you are and what you stand for. If you stand for peace, you stand for kindness, you got to stay there no matter what.
You can never forget
Self-control.
who you are and what you stand for.
Yeah, self-control.
That was great. You can never forget
delivery.
who you are, what you stand for, and delivery. Oh, like
Yeah.
I said, again, that his situation, I told you.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to have him come on the
100%.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, that's why I told you.
Yeah, I told him that, and he was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But he blew up. It was like everybody was like,
yeah. He actually posted a video afterwards and all that. But case is, it's just very, very important to understand your delivery, right? And before you get your point across, just think, process.
Yeah.
Right. That's why sometimes even when I'm here talking, you can see me taking the pause. You ever seen Elon Musk interview?
Yeah.
It's like the best. Because you ask him a question, he'll be there.
He'll ponder.
Literally for 5 to 10 seconds sometimes.
The worst thing you can do.
Are you here? Are you here? Yes, just give me a second. Let me process.
Yep.
People are not used to that.
Yep.
People are just used to just listening to respond instead of listening to actually understand and then process and analyze your communication right back, because it's an exchange of energy. Everything is an exchange of energy. So it's like, you just watch yourself and how you speak.
The worst thing a person can do is give a hasty response.
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah, because the point of view, you could be right.
Like a chihuahua.
You could be right, but the point of but the way that you deliver it is not correct. So
right.
But I think that's very important. Again, it's sadly to say we have 2 more minutes.
You're right.
But I think this was a great start. Pound it.
This was really. We got a double pound.
Here we go. Yeah.
Winner's Seat Podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yes. WSP, baby. Winner's Seat Podcast, man. Thank you.
And for the people wondering where they're like, this is going to be on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. All platforms.
All platforms.
Right?
Apple.
You might or might not see our faces somewhere where we might not want to see it. Maybe somewhere big, somewhere billboard. I don't know. You might. Who knows?
We got some things going on.
Some sponsorships are coming in. All we can promise you guys is this: we will always be authentic.
Yes.
We will always be genuine.
Absolutely.
And we'll continue to give you guys the gems. And how do winners think? Because these 2 people right here are winners. I'm staring at one right there, my boy Jamie, another winner. And we're just rocking with Winnergy all day. That's the Winner's Seat Podcast, baby. Let's get it.
That's it. All right.
Episode 1. I love it.
Episode 1.
Let's get it, man. We're back here tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for tuning in. Peace.